Hello again to this video clip series, My Journey to God in a Very Secularized World. In the last couple of video clips, we're talking about the astute deviation of our attention to not see how we are being led to the destruction of our society and our culture. And in particular, we're talking about the family. Because there's a great pressure on us to be politically correct, and according to the mass media. Because true Christians today are being accused of not tolerating same-sex couples who want to marry, of restricting them. People are very nervous. They do not want to talk about what is being proposed about same-sex marriage. What this group, a group of Catholics called the Catholics for the Common Good, they say, don't talk about this proposal. That's what people are being told. These new proposals have nothing to do with marriage. That, it's true. They have nothing to do with marriage. They're redefining everything. We can't learn a thing from talking about relationships between couples of the same sex and why they don't qualify for marriage. Why in the world has this become an issue at the Synod on the Family and before Amoris Laetitia, and now again? Who is maneuvering and manipulating the Synod? And why is Pope Francis remaining silent about this deviation of the proper priorities and the values of the misguided attention, which leads us away from the real solution for families today? It's interesting that in Amoris Laetitia, you don't find anything written about the great damage to children of separated parents. Nothing. It's only the desires of the adults in Amoris Laetitia. And now it's being even more promoted in the more recent Synod on synodality. What was Our Lady of Good Success 400 years ago in Quito, Ecuador, telling us over 400 years ago for our times? She said, 400 years ago, she said, in this supreme moment of need for the church, the one who should speak will fall silent. Not the one, not a group of bishops, but one, the Pope, false Pope. Because if the one who should speak approves openly what has been promoted by the Freemasonry, the sacrament of matrimony will be attacked and deeply profaned, as Our Lady told us would be. Many people will wake up if sex outside of marriage is officially approved. So you have to do it in a sneaky way, with silence. Satan is not stupid to lead as many souls to hell without waking them up until they are in hell. Sex outside of marriage will be approved in the church around the world by way of the silence of the pastors of the church, especially the most important pastors of the church. Behold the astute deviation of our attention. Satan is intelligent. We read in Pope Gregory the Great, in the Office of Readings, week 27 on Sunday, we read, Pope Gregory the Great writes, in this supreme moment of need for the church, the one who should, negligent religious leaders are often afraid to speak freely and say what needs to be said, for fear of losing favor with people. As truth himself says, Jesus, they are certainly not guarding their flock with the care expected of a shepherd, but are acting as hirelings. Because hiding behind a wall of silence is like taking flight at the approach of the wolf. These are the people whom the Lord is reproaching through the prophet when he says, they are all dumb dogs, they cannot bark. Isaiah 56. If a religious leader is afraid of saying what is right, what else can his silence mean but that he has taken flight? Whereas if he stands firm in defense of his flock, he is building up a wall for the house of Israel against its enemies. And so again, the sinful people are told, "Your prophets have seen false and foolish visions for you. They have not exposed your iniquity in order to provoke you to repentance." That's from the book of Lamentations that Pope Gregory quoted. As you well know, the great majority of bishops, priests, is silent about it. They're afraid. They're afraid to defend the flock. That's why we must pray for priests and bishops, as Our Lady says. Pray for priests and bishops. And we find also St. Augustine, he says in week 24, every day the breviary brings his writings on sermon of St. Augustine on the shepherds. One little paragraph I put here: "What kind of men are they who, fearing to hurt those they speak to, not only do not prepare them for imminent temptations, but even promise the happiness of this world, which God did not promise to the world itself?" We have to go back to the start, from the beginning, as Jesus told the Pharisees, Matthew 19. When we use the terms forced on us by the highly controlled mass media today about the issue of marriage, it makes true Christians sound like our only interest is preventing same-sex couples from marrying, and that this issue is merely about the participation of same-sex couples in marriage. It's not true. But really, in fact, that obscures the reality. Look at the sneakiness, how the strategy of putting down Christians. This obscures the reality. The fact that marriage is being redefined. That's what they're trying to hide. There is no such thing as same-sex marriage in the law. It is being redefined, and when it is redefined, it eliminates from the law the only institution that unites kids with their moms and dads. Is this not what many of the recently promoted bishops and cardinals are doing and done at the synod before Amoris Laetitia, and now even more? Many states in the United States are being coerced and manipulated to redefine marriage to accommodate same-sex couples, which eliminates the only institution in the law that unites kids with their moms and dads. The laws about marriage up to now have enabled us with legal support to promote men and women marrying before having children, and to safeguard the union not only of the married man and woman, but also the union of the parents with their children. Thus, those who want to redefine marriage have really a bigoted position to advocate against a woman and a man marrying and having a stable union to welcome children, so children can know who their dad is and who their mom is. It's all bigoted, and we're being brainwashed that they're right and we're wrong. That becomes discrimination when marriage is redefined and eliminates children from the law, from the equation. You might go to the internet and go to this group in the Google and find more writings about this in this group, good Catholic group called Catholics for the Common Good. After having offered this brief summary of the situation regarding the institution of marriage, which is attacked and deeply profaned, which, as Our Lady 400 years ago warned us about, Our Lady of Good Success, we might be able to understand better what Cardinal Burke, a canon lawyer, said about what the current Catholic reformers are saying. He said, "Oh, we're not questioning the indissolubility of marriage at all, liars. We are just going to make it easier for people to receive a declaration of nullity of marriage so that they can receive the sacraments." But to this, Burke said, it is a very deceptive line of argument, which I've been hearing more now in the whole debate. Burke is trying to help us, Cardinal Burke is trying to help us understand the sneaky language to promote the destruction of the family. Dear brothers and sisters, we got to pray, but also study to not be fooled and led astray by the very powerful propaganda, well thought out, to put the true Christians in defense, as if the ones who are promoting the destruction of marriage are all right and we're all wrong. May God bless you and Mary guide you.